I don't really know how you can actually believe in a God that's all-knowing and all-powerful, and he's all-loving too, when there's so much crap that goes on in the world. I mean, for God's sakes, j- mind the pun. Look at look at the United States as compared to other countries in the world and how much food they consume. Look at look at how fat most of the Americans are, and that's because we have all of these different types of foods to choose from. Every which way you look, there's a new food item that comes out. McDonald's. There's one McDonald's over at the corner of my house, in my apartment, and then there's another one just a few blocks down. Um, if you go to a certain area of where near where I live by, there's there's an Arby's and a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Wendy's all in one central area. And then if you go somewhere else, there's a Panera Bread and there's a Quiznos and there's a Subway and there's a pizza shop all over right in one specific area. But if you go to some place that some really poor place like I don't know Nigeria, you wouldn't find anything like that. You just see people barely getting by on the stuff that they have, and yet people say there's a loving, all-knowing God out there. How can you be all-knowing and loving at the same time, and you can be omnibenevolent and you can do whatever you want? I mean, it said that God gave man free will, but it's not. But if God gave man free will and he's all knowing and all loving, this wouldn't really make any sense. It's a counter to what it is, because God already knew this would already happen in the first place. God could not be all-knowing and all-loving if he knew this was going to happen in the first place and he made it happen anyway. And he already knew what everybody was going to do through their free will, because God is everything, or God knows everything. So therefore, God is not a real thing if he is so-called all-knowing and all-loving. It's a clash. It doesn't fit. And if God wanted all of us to know who he was and which ideology to stand by, he wouldn't just come in one form in one place at one specific time. He would have to come to one form in different places at different times all throughout history, just to show himself and just to recognize one doctrine and only one doctrine. But you got people all over the world that are recognizing so many different doctrines of what their interpretation of God is. And guess what? They're probably all wrong. They probably all got it wrong. I mean, Jews got God, just God. The Christians got God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Muslims got Muhammad, and they got Jesus in there too, because Jesus is in the Quran. Believe it or not, he's not as I don't think he's as important as Muhammad, but he's still in there. We got the Buddhists. The Buddhists, I don't believe, think in God or believe in God, but it's another religious ideology. It just doesn't make any sense. Why would this happen? And if God does exist, and if he is only one of those gods, well, he sure is a dumbass. I mean, really big time dumbass. Dumber than Sarah Palin. Dumber than Glenn Beck. Dumber than maybe even a liberal if you're a Republican. Dumber than anything that you can think of. So, my thing is, God is either stupid, or he doesn't exist, or he's just the biggest asshole I know, or anybody else could know. And you know what? If God does exist, and I go up to heaven or hell, I'm going to tell God, fuck you. That's what I'm going to tell him. Because, look, our world is already sick, and we can't deal with having this stupid idea that some God, some being knows about everything and only came in one form and already knew that we were going to be fighting over which interpretation is right. So really, people, wake up to the truth. God is not real. Or God may be real, but he's not worth it. He's not worth worshipping, because he's either really stupid or he's just a plain asshole. Peace.